Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi Achint. Straits of Hormuz is blocked, right? There is a blockade which has been put by the Americans, and of course, some sort of a blockade by the Iranians. What the Iranians have claimed is that the certain part of the Straits of Hormuz is mined. Now, mines, that is the subject for today. What are these? Is it possible for Iran to maintain that? Can the US remove that? What are these mines? How do we understand them? Let's talk to Rear Admiral Mukul Asthana, who has, by the way, and he's the perfect man for this particular subject because he's commanded a squadron of minesweepers. So he's done this. So we'll talk about this to understand, can this be done? What is the reality of this naval maritime operation? Namaskar, sir. Welcome to the show.
Adi, namaskar. Good morning, Sat Sri Akal, Vanakkam. Good to be back with you.
Always a pleasure, sir. So, sir, these the claim of mines. I don't want to get into what numbers that the Iranians have put. Somebody says 50, somebody says 100, somebody says 200. That's besides the point. The claim of mines. What is this? This is it that dangerous? By the way, these mines. So, can you help us understand what they can do?
So, Adi, I will, for the benefit of your spectators and your followers, I'll just give a very brief background about what mine warfare has always been. Mine warfare is a very potent asymmetric tool for has been there for centuries, and perhaps it is older than when Christopher Columbus was born. And with very little efforts, or I would say with very little amount of financial efforts, a large amount of damage can be caused to the adversary by using mine warfare. In fact, we must recall a bit of history on this. During the World War One, Russia and some other countries had laid almost 1,500 mines in the Baltic and the Gulf of Finland. Later, during the World War Two, Germany and even the Allies used mines in vast scale, blocking many ports, and which resulted in sinking of many lakhs of tonnage at sea. Later, uh, in both these wars, multinational efforts were mounted to clear these mines, which also were not 100% secure towards the end. And many of the mines during the World War One and World War Two, have been subsequently detected or they have come out drifting to various places.
Mm.
Coming closer home, during the 1971 Indo-Pak conflict itself, both Pakistan and India had used mine warfare in various measures. Pakistan, of course, had tried to carry out mining of Visakhapatnam because they were suspecting INS Vikrant to be operating from there. That actually led to their great grief when PNS Ghazi, which was supposed to be laying mines of Vizag, possibly uh, got entangled with one of their own mines and the mine burst, sinking PNS Ghazi, and that is history we all know, just 2 miles outside Visakhapatnam. Off Bangladesh, which was earlier East Pakistan, Indian Navy had mounted an exercise of laying mines in the Ganges Basin with the help of Mukti Bahini commandos. Many mines were laid towards at the approaches to Chittagong, Khulna, and Kusur rivers. This also caused a lot of damage to the Pakistani ships and their logistics, which was supposed to come to East Pakistan. As late as 1988, during the Iraq had used mines, and I recall it was USS Samuel S. Roberts, which was damaged by a mine, which causing a great amount of flooding, etc. Of course, the ship did not sink, but it was put out of action for a long, long time. So, coming back to it, mine warfare is a very potent form of warfare. It is uh, it is much cheaper in comparison, although it's very laborious. It is less glamorous to lay mines. It is even lesser glamorous to, in fact, carry out mine sweeping. And the efficacy of both uh, the mining and demining, and to be able to recover mines remains a question till the end, because many mines, as we will cover later, can move, can shift away, can drift, etc., etc. So much so for the history, Adi.
So when we look at these particular types of operations, when you've laid out the mines, there's one very interesting statement that came out of the Iranians, that we don't know where the mines are. We put these mines, but we don't know where they are. I mean, are they just dumped randomly? Is it what do you think is the case?
Any professional, any professional capable navy would know where they have laid mines. Here, however, we are talking about a navy which has taken a lot of battering in the last 6 to 7 weeks. So, what is available in the open source is that many of the non-warships or small vessels like the fishing vessels, etc., were utilized to lay mines, and that is the beauty of mine warfare. That there can be various types of platforms which can be employed for laying these mines. For example, minesweepers can lay, the naval ships can lay, submarines can be carried, they can carry saddle mines and they can lay mines for that matter. As I explained earlier, PNS Ghazi was trying to do that off Visakhapatnam in 1971. They can even be dropped by helicopters. And lastly, of course, what we call is a craft of opportunity, which can be fishing vessels, fishing trawlers, or anything which can carry, 300-400 kgs of additional weight can go and plonk a mine somewhere at sea or make it drift if so required. Here, what we know is that perhaps it was done by the fishing craft, and certainly we don't expect great expertise to be able to record where the mine was laid, and whether it was a moored mine, or whether it was a drifting mine, or whether it was a ground mine. Um, we must also understand the Strait of Hormuz we are speaking about is about 45-meter deep at places. That's just about a 180 or maybe less than that feet in depth, and there are strong currents. So if mines, if laid, the bottom mines or ground mines can also get shifted because of currents. And in any case, the drifting mines will go far as days would pass. So if the Iranian Navy is claiming that they do not know where the mines may be, well, I say that it's quite possibly true.
Mm.
There's another
So,
aspect. There is another aspect I must say here. This can well be used by Iran as a information warfare. I do not know how many mines they would have used, but we fully understand they have almost about anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 mines in their inventory. And irrespective of how many they have used, open source says about 10 to 50. I'm not too sure how many. And even if they haven't, for that matter, just by saying that we have mined the areas causes enough fear and
mm,
apprehension in the mind of the adversary. So that itself is a, we call it an act of war, but they're already in war. But this, they are just notching up and ratcheting up the fact that they have mined. That means there's another danger to look at.
so so
It could
what
well be
kind of
information warfare also.
huh, absolutely, sir. So what kind of mines do you think would be done, sir? What kind of mines they would have used? Now, these are electronic mines, modern mines, or these are those old, good old, what do you call, World War II dumb mines, which used to just float in the oceans or lie at the seafloor?
So what is known adequately is that Iran has a mix of types of mines.
Mm-hmm.
Some are basic, some are more complex, and some are smart. But briefly speaking, I can tell you that the types of mine can be uh, floating mines.
Mm-hmm.
They can be floating mines are the mines which are just floating at surface or below the surface, where are not seen by naked eye or by visual watch, but if any ship comes in contact, it'll or passes close by. If they are influenced mines, they will explode. There can be mines which are bottom mines, which are laid in the bottom of the sea, and they are influenced by passage of ship, whether acoustic or magnetic disturbance. And some mines also have a ship count system. That means they will get armed only after the number of ships have passed over it or close to it, and they can
Okay.
be pre-armed. I mean, they can be pre-programmed, 6 ships or 10 ships or etc. etc. So that gives some time delay for the nation, for the using nation, mine using nation to active to say that from this date onwards or after so many hours, this particular mine will be activated. But these are technical details. And then, of course, there are drifting mines, which once laid will certainly move out and travel far with the tide or the currents which are existing over there. And it is
Okay.
difficult for anyone to even say that they are anywhere close to where they were laid. Then comes a classification system which says as to how the mines get activated. One is a contact mine, which they have, you would have traditionally seen. In fact, I have a model of a mine here. I'll just show you right now. So here you see this has a mine. You can
Oh,
see a
so it's
pair
like
of
a weight
portals.
with a chain and a ball sort of a thing which floats around the place.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So this is
Oh man, this is amazing.
so some Russian friends presented this to me, knowing that once they came to know that I was commanding a mine-sweeping squadron. They said, "Sir, please, this is a bottle of vodka. I have never opened it here. I said, let me preserve it." But this actually shows a floating mine there. So these are the various types of mines which are available, and we know that Iran has most of these with them. So this question would always remain as to what, where they have utilized.
So, so coming to the main question, sir, can these be interdicted? What kind of equipment does the Americans have? Do they have enough minesweepers? Do they have enough? If they are sensor based, so obviously EW and all that can be used. If they're dumb mines, I don't know how they do it. Underwater drones are being spoken about. What do you think should be the American naval plan, sir?
So we understand that the U.S. Navy is mounting their best efforts to demine the area
Hmm.
and make the straits available for freedom of navigation for all countries, because as we know that almost about 25 to 30% of the world fuel flows through the Strait of Hormuz, and the entire committee of nations is anxiously waiting for this conflict to come to an end. What we know is that there are two U.S. Navy Arleigh destroyers which are giving the umbrella coverage to the mounted effort for demining. They themselves have search radars which can, I'm sorry, search sonars which can detect underwater objects and mines. It is understood they have transited through the strait and gone into the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Gulf. Iran likes to call it Persian Gulf, but the other nations want to call it Arabian Gulf. So, apart from this, the actual mine countermeasure effort is being carried out by what they call LCS, littoral combat ships, which operate at standoff distances, but they have mine countermeasure helicopters. We will come to that. They have mine countermeasures surface craft unmanned, and they also have unmanned underwater vehicles like Kingfish. And these surface craft as well as the UVVs, underwater vehicles, are capable of detecting with their own mounted sonars, as well as they are also capable of streaming some sensors, which, with the help of acoustic and magnetic um, signatures, are able to detect and destroy mines. Some of these systems also have what we call is the side scan sonar, which can carry out sea bottom mapping and detect mine-like objects. In fact, Indian Navy also has this capability, so we know how it looks like. You can actually see an almost 3D picture of image of something which is underwater, and with the help of this, you can, if you detect a underwater mine, you would be able to know that it is so. But these are tedious efforts. These are efforts which take enormously long time. Coming to helicopters, they also have these MH-60S Seahawks, which use laser detection system for mines. And they hover and use lasers to find out in shallow waters if mines exist in and around the area. And thereafter, they can use sweeps on helicopters, or they can direct UVVs or surface craft to vector into that place and carry out the mine, destruction. But these are all efforts. These are all technical efforts which physically are present over there. But we must understand that Strait of Hormuz is not a narrow strait like Malacca. At its narrowest, it is about 36 kilometers long, almost about 17 to 18 miles long, wide or narrow, as you can say. And the established traffic separation scheme itself uh, has two parts, which is the eastbound traffic and the westbound traffic. Each lane is about 2 miles wide, and it has a buffer of 2 miles. With strong currents, things drift over there, and they can be carried away. So the task is not very easy. The task is not very easy.
So, what about these underwater craft that they're talking about now? Are they capable enough of detecting these things first and foremost, right at the bottom of the sea? Although the depth is not that much, as you've explained to us, that's a new technology. That's why I'm kind of asking a separate question on this. So, is there that capability, and how? I read a couple of places they can go place an explosive on the mine itself. They create magnetic fields which kind of make the mind believe that there is a ship which is going across, so it explodes on its own, stuff like that. So is that capability now you know available?
This capability has been available for quite some time,
Hmm.
and of course these UAVs or the unmanned surface crafts, they carry the sensors or equipment to simulate as if a ship is passing by. For that matter, a warship is passing by, because the signatures of whether acoustic or magnetic signatures of a warship would certainly be that of different of a tanker. So each of this can be simulated, pre-programmed. So there are smart systems available, as there are smarter minds available for that matter. And then, of course, once detected, confirmed that this is so, then you can go and attach an explosive to that mine and remotely, activate it so that you remain safe, or the underwater craft or the above the surface craft remains at a safe distance, and you detonate the mine by that explosive charge that is put. So all these technologies are very much available, but I must say that there are challenges here.
Hmm.
And there are many challenges. In fact, first of all, the environmental and seabed conditions there, as I mentioned to you, these waters are shallow, about 45 meters, maybe 150 to 160 feet deep. The sea bottom is soft, it is sandy. So the performance of the onboard sonar, whether of a ship or a UVV or a under unmanned surface vehicle, is also suspect, and it is likely to generate a lot of noise. You may miss many mines if they are there, or you may, for that matter, get false reports, a false positive that there's a mine there. So the amount of confusion and the fog it would create in the minds of any minesweeping leader, a minesweeping person, would be that much more complex. As I said, there are strong currents. Uh, you may be looking for a mine in a particular designated lane that you want to clear, but the mine would have likely drifted, or you have cleared the place today, but there may be some other mine which may come after 2 3 days into that area. You may have declared it as a safe, or what is known as a green channel, uh, but it may not really be green or safe in a couple of days from now. So that is another challenge. Then, as I said, the mine types and sensors difficulties exist. Floating mode mines and quantum mines. Some may be smart mines, some may be dumb mines, and some may be able to have countermeasures, and some may not, for that matter. Lastly, there are also likelihood in that sandy bottom that mines once laid, they may get buried under sand, or half buried under sand. So the side scan sonars or the platform sonars will have to take that much more time to detect what the obtained contact is, and they may just miss the mine, for that matter. So these are
So
some of the
that
challenges.
means this is technically the operation that the Americans have launched is possible, but it is difficult.
Technically, of course, everything is possible. With the current technology available, Adi, everything is possible, and there are measures and countermeasures. And if there are equipment and ammunition and armament which has been developed, there are also countermeasures being developed to that, and there are countermeasures being developed. So to answer your question, the efforts are available. the US Navy would mount those efforts. One big question that remains is that with whatever remnants of the Iranian Navy, they would still there would still be a hostile environment for the US Navy to operate in
Mm.
for the mine sweeping efforts, mine countermeasure efforts. Second thing is the time taken may be quite enormous. And when would they be able to say that, okay, we have carried out entire mine sweeping operations, mine countermeasures, and now the entire Hormuz is safe? Is something which is, to my mind, would be a big question for many, many months to come.
Interesting. I think that makes quite a lot of sense to kind of for us to understand what this operation could be. So it's not something that's going to be over in about a week or 10 days. It's going to take about at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month if they actually go through this particular exercise and do what they want to do as far as the mines are concerned. At some point in time, this whole thing will have to get cleared. There's no question about it,
Yes.
one way or the other. Yes.
So my professional sense, my professional take says that Iran has made a very big point by saying that we have carried out mining, and it amounts to blockade of the Hormuz. Whether they have used 10 or 50 or however number of mines, they have mined the areas and they have declared it. So their point is well made to the world. Now I feel good sense should prevail. It's been 6 to 7 months now, 6 to 7 weeks now, and there are efforts for truce to happen. I believe the second round is going to happen very shortly. And as and when a truce is made, uh, there would be, it's only logical for an activity which should be a multinational activity for carrying out mine clearance of these areas because these are vital areas for the world. And we'll see which all navies take part in this mine countermeasure operations, mine clearance operations. But I feel even Iran should participate in that with whatever naval force that they are left with. If they were responsible for mining, they should also be responsible for
Demining of it.
not
I agree,
joining
sir.
hands for demining.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. This helps a lot. Actually, puts a lot of things in perspective. If you listen to the Americans, they're saying, "Well, oh, we'll just, we'll do it like that." If you listen to the Iranians, they're saying, "Oh, you can't, you can't, you can't." The truth, obviously, as you've explained, lies somewhere in the middle, where this is a heavy effort. This is going to take time. It's technically very, very, very difficult to do, and it can be very dangerous also. So we need to kind of put that into perspective as far as our analysis of that region is concerned. Thank you so much, sir. Always a pleasure to talk to you and learn from you. Let me just say that to the audience. My request is like, subscribe, and of course, comment. What do you guys think? Leaving the news rhetoric aside, what do you think about the reality? Thank you once again, sir. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you so much. Good day.
Good day, sir.